All right, in this video, we are going to talk about solving quadratic equations graphically. Now, this one will actually be on your graphing calculator. Sometimes when we solve things graphically, we're still doing the work by hand and just using a graph. But here we actually will be using our graphing calculator. So, if you don't have your graphing calculator out, get it out. You definitely need it. And I'm just going to go through the steps with this first example, so as we read them. So first we're going to type the left side of the equation into a slot in your y equals screen. So left side of the equation is going to be this guy right here. So this is going to be my y1. So notice that in the directions, oh, that's a typo, equations, write out the two equations you entered and draw a rough sketch of your calculator screen as part of your work. So we are going to have y1, this is the first equation we're going to enter. So go to my y equals screen. Oops, I pressed second and not y equals, that won't work. Second quit. Okay, now go to y equals. So my y1, I'm going to type it in exactly like I see it. So parentheses 2x, subtraction 3, close parentheses, squared buttons there, and then plus 5x. Okay, so then type the right side of the equation into a different slot. So I'm going to use y2. So my y2, the right side of the equation is just 13, and that's it. So 13 there, and I'm good to go on that. So then I'm going to go back over here. I've got y2 equals 13. So then I'm going to adjust my window. So this one's, kind of a complicated-ish equation, so you may not be exactly sure how to adjust for that. But y equals 13 is a horizontal line, and it goes through 13, and standard window only goes up to 10. So we know a standard window won't work. So I need to go above 10. So I'm going to start with maybe, if I need to get to 13, I'm going to go to like 18. So negative 10 to 18. Counting by ones should still work for now. Again, we can always readjust if we need to. So I have adjusted the window initially. Now I'm going to go ahead and press graph and see what it shows me. So there's my parabola, which is the left side, and there is my line, which is the right side. So looks like I can see everything I need because what we're looking for are intersection points. And I can definitely see intersection points between the two equations. So I do not need to adjust again in this case. So now you should already know how to find intersection points. We did that when we solved 2x2 systems graphically. But I did, in your directions here, type out just part of the reminder of the directions. So we go to our second trace, and we choose 5 for intersect. Remember that since there's more than one intersection point, we need to move the cursor close to the intersection that we want. It doesn't have to be right on it like mine is, but you want it at least close. And then we're going to press enter 3 times. So once, changes color, twice. Now it's saying guess, yes. So third time, and it gives us the intersection. So notice that the answers are the x coordinates of the intersection, not the y coordinate. So this doesn't come out nicely. This doesn't say what to round to, so I'm going to go nearest hundredth. So it says negative 0.4537, so that's negative 0.45 when I round to the nearest hundredth. So x equals negative 0.45 is one of my solutions. Then I need to find the other intersection point. So I go back to second trace, choice 5. If you don't move the cursor, it's just going to keep finding the same one. So I move the cursor over so that it's closer to the other one, and now I'm going to press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and there's my second answer. So this says 2.2037. So that'd be 2.20 to the nearest hundredth. So x equals 2.20. We should probably use the squiggly equal signs because these are approximately, they're rounded answers. So these are going to be my answers. I still need to draw a rough sketch as part of my answer. It can really truly be a rough sketch. So I see a parabola that kind of looks like this, and then I've got a line about up here. So this is all I need. You know, you want to make sure it's plausible that these are in the right place. This is on the negative side, this is on the positive side. And so that works, and I've got my answers. Okay. I'd like for you to try B on your own. So you can, unless you were having issues, if you're doing this at home and having problems, then you don't want to delete these out of your y equals screen. Remember that if you press enter on top of them, that turns them off without deleting them. So if you need to keep them, you can. But go ahead and use your Y3 and Y4 if you need to keep these. If you just got the exact same answer I did and you had no problems, then you can go ahead and clear those out and just reuse Y1 and Y2. So that's up to you, but go ahead and do B, pause the video while you do, and then come back to check your answer. So I'm going to do x squared minus 7x here. That's my left side. And then I've got negative 2x plus 1 for my right side. This has a y-intercept of 0, y-intercept of 1. So I would think that a standard window would be okay. So I'm going to zoom 6 and see what I can see. So I could be wrong. I can see it, but just barely. So I am going to adjust this window so I can see the bottom a little better. So if I need to see the bottom more, that's y's, and specifically y minimum. So I'm going to change my y minimum. I'm going to go ahead and change it to negative 20 instead of negative 10, and then hit graph again and see if I can get a little bit better picture this time. All right, that looks much better. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to record everything that I needed. So I had my, and I'm going to write Y3 since that's what I used, but you certainly can write Y1. And then I'm not going to use yellow like it is on the calculator because yellow is hard to see. I'll use this color that's called asparagus. It's like yellow-green. And I entered negative 2x plus 1. So rough sketch. I go back and look at it. Looks like it's pretty close to the axis there. So I need this to go over further. So my parabola looks something like this. And then the line that goes through it looks something like this. So I've got 2 intersection points to find again. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on my calculator. So second trace, choice 5. This one's already close to the first intersection, so I'm going to do my 3 times enter. And intersection, oh, that yellow is very hard to read. I believe that says negative 0.192. So if that's correct, that'd be negative 0.19 rounded to the nearest hundredth. So x is approximately negative 0.19 for one solution. Then I'm going to find the other one. So go back to second trace, choice 5. This time I'm going to move, and I'm actually going to press up to skip over to the yellow. I'm going to have yellow be my first curve because then my answer will be in pink. It's easier to read. So I'm close to the second intersection. Enter once, enter twice. Yes, I want you to guess. And that gives me 5.192. So approximately 5.19 for my second solution. And I've got both my answers, so I am finished. Hopefully you didn't have too many problems doing it yourself.